Back again, and today we are doing some cut testing with the Rapier longsword hybrid from the last few videos. This has been quite a long build, a long time coming and a long time in the making. This is an incredibly light sword weighing 1 pound and 15 ounces, just under the 2 pound mark. And today we're going to see how well it cuts, how well it thrusts, all that kind of stuff. So we'll start off like we always do with just the one bottle. Since that worked, we got to try 3, right? Third one right there. Well, it made it through 3. Let's see if I can get through 10. With how flexy this blade is, I felt it flex, and it made it through all but 2. So we got through 8 before it just was wiggling a bit too much to stay straight enough to keep cutting through. I do have to say, this is quite an efficient cutting sword for being so thin, and I did not expect it to cut through 8. I thought it would get through maybe 5 before it flexed like that, but shows what I know. It is still dead straight after that though, so it returned to true just fine. Speaking of bigger things, let's move on to a half gallon, see what it does. And if it worked for the half gallon, obviously it's going to work for the gallon. Oh, missed. Since we were having some issues with, thicker targets, since this flexes so much, let's try 2 gallons and see what happens. My crappy edge alignment skills made me hit with the flat again. I'm out of practice, man. Let's see what we can do about thrusts. It goes in and it cuts its way back out, that's for sure. Like we always do, now that we know that it works really well for being such a light, thin sword, let's do some slow-mo and get some good shots for you guys. So here is the wreckage from this specific sword. It slices, it dices, it chops, it cuts, it thrusts, it does all the things effectively. That answers the question of if this sword works. It definitely does. It holds its edge, it stays straight, it stays true, and doesn't snap or bend or warp or twist or anything like that. It's a perfectly usable, long, light sword. Weighing just under 2 pounds and at exactly 42 inches from pommel to point, this is a monstrous needle-style sword. I'm very happy with how this turned out. Obviously it functions great, obviously it cuts, it thrusts, it does all the things like it's supposed to, and this is going to be my practice sword for training for cutting. This is a challenging thing to cut with. As you saw in the 10 bottle chop, it flexes really hard, so cutting through thicker targets is a challenge with this. However, it definitely does the job. If my edge alignment skills were better, this thing could cut ribbons off of just about anything. The style of guard I chose was just for my personal tastes. I do like the thumb rings, I do like the knuckle guard kind of deal. I could have made this bar come down on the other side of the knuckle and be more of a true hanger, but I prefer this style over that true hanger look because of the thumbing the guard for the thrusting and control of the point kind of thing. I do have to admit, for being this light and this big, it's real comfortable to swing. Say the balance on this turned out remarkable. It's very comfortable to wield. It's very light and maneuverable, but at the same time, it gives you just enough weight in that blade to where you know there's a blade there, and you can feel it, so it's easier to control. So in terms of balance and all that stuff, it's spot on. My sucky cutting skills just need to improve, so I need to practice with the sword a bit more. Want to see how I made this? Check out the 4 videos prior to this one. This was a long build series, as this was a pretty complicated thing to make. It's not easy to make something this light and flexible and have it work properly. This is quite a challenging build, and if you're a bladesmith, I would say try and make yourself one of these, see how you do. It's a lot trickier than I initially thought to make something this light and thin and keep the tapers where I wanted them, keep the fullering where I wanted it, keep the thicknesses how I wanted it. But in the end, it all turned out to be a beautiful sword that is very effective at what it does. We'll definitely be seeing this a lot more in my future videos. Speaking of balance, the point of balance on this sword is literally 3 inches in front of the guard. It is very, very close to the hand, which makes it incredibly maneuverable, but gives you just enough of a feeling to where that tip is to really know where your point's at in space. But that does it for today's video. If you guys liked what you've seen, do me a favor, do that thing right there. And until next time, God bless, stay sharp out there. If you're looking for a custom sword, knife, polearm, whatever, check out the Etsy store. The link will be at the end of the video.